As a pediatric occupational therapist, parents often ask me why their 6-month-old baby isn't holding toys. And the reason they're not yet holding toys is often because the parents are placing them in positions which don't actually let the baby use their hands in the first place, and they are also giving them toys which are not suitable for a baby under 6 months of age. So in this video, we're going to cover the positions that help your baby use their hands, and also what toys and the features to look for in toys to promote your baby's fine motor development. But before we do, make sure you click on that free PDF document in the description box below, which covers the developmental milestones you can be expecting for your little one in their first year of life. This will give you an invaluable peace of mind, as you'll know when to be expecting skills and when to be concerned. Now let's talk about the positions which will encourage your baby's hand development. So the very first position is encouraging your baby to play when lying on their back. So you can do this 3 different ways. The first way is you can place them underneath the play gym, where your baby will at 3 months reach out and hit those toys, and then at 4, 5 and 6 months reach out and try and grab the toys that are hanging from the play gym. Or you could place your baby directly on the floor, lying on their back, and you would be leaning over the top of them and holding a toy in the middle of their body. Initially, you might just be shaking it so your baby starts to look at that toy, and then at 3 months, you would hold it in the middle of their body and you would shake it and expect the baby to be reaching out and kind of hitting that toy. And then at 4, 5 and 6 months, hold it in the middle close to their body so they can reach it, and you'll see your baby reach out, grab the toy and bring it to them and start to play with it and mouth it. And the last position, which is personally my favorite, is placing your baby on their back when they're resting on your thigh. So you're sitting in the chair and you're resting them on your thigh. This position is great because your thigh actually pushes their shoulders forward, which means that it's going to be easier for their hands to come in the middle of their body and start to interact and play with toys, rather than just fall to the side, which happens in the first few months. Now, again, when they're lying on your thigh, what you would do is hold the toy directly above them in the middle of their body, and you would shake it, and at 3 months, your baby will be reaching out and grabbing that toy, and then at 4, 5 and 6 months, they'll be grabbing it and bringing it to their body and starting to interact with it. Now, it's important to know that a baby under 6 months of age is not able to grab a toy which is held vertically, because they approach toys at this age with their palm facing down. So you need to turn that toy, if it's a straight toy like this, to turn it onto its side so that when your baby reaches for that toy, they're going to actually be able to grab it. And the second position is to encourage your baby to play when they're inside lying. So what this is basically when your baby is lying on the ground, you would roll them onto their side so that both their hands are out in front of their body. And you would place a toy directly in their line of sight. The great thing about this position is it encourages your baby's hands to come together, which means it's going to be easier for them to play and interact with toys. Now, to prevent your baby from rolling back onto their back, you might want to place a rolled up towel behind their back. And remember, you also need to watch your baby when they're in this position, because they might accidentally roll onto their tummy and then not be able to get off. And the third position you can do with your little one is place them in supported sitting and give them a toy. So when they're under 4 months of age, you would be doing that by placing your little one in a bouncer. And when they're in the bouncer, they initially have a mobile in front of them. So they'll be watching those toys on that mobile, and at 3 months, they'll be starting to reach out and hit that toy. And at 4 months, I would tend to take that mobile away and give them a toy when they're in the bouncer. So you'd place it on their chest, and that way they'd be able to interact and play with that toy. Now, when they are 4 months of age, they might be showing you that they're keen to kind of sit up with your help. So when they're sitting on your lap, instead of leaning completely back, they will start to kind of pull their body upright so that they can sit. When your baby is showing you that they're interested in sitting up with your help, you can actually help them into sitting by holding them at their torso when they're sitting in your lap. And what you could do is you could actually give them some toys to play with. So at this age, I like to give them a bowl of toys, because the edge of the bowl will stop the toys rolling away and will make it easier for your baby to actually grab the toys in the first place. Now that you know the positions which will encourage your baby's fine motor skills, let's talk about the second factor that can actually hinder your baby's development of being able to use their hands, and that is the toys that you're giving them. So when you're looking at toys to give your baby when they're under 6 months of age, the very first thing you want to look for is to make sure it is lightweight. So it needs to be lightweight for two reasons. The first reason is it needs to be lightweight enough that your baby can actually lift it. So this one is actually quite a heavy toy compared to the O-Ball. It's extremely lightweight and it's really easy to lift. The other reason you want the toy to be lightweight is because your baby in the first few months, so at 4 months and 5 months, they're still working on their ability to hold toys. And they will accidentally drop them all the time. And it is highly likely that they're going to drop those toys on their face and on their body. So we want it to be lightweight so it's not actually going to cause our baby harm when it drops from their hand. The second feature is you want the toy to be something that your baby can pick up using multiple different grasps. If it is a toy that has multiple holes in it, like the O-Ball, then it's going to be really easy for your baby to grasp, and they're going to have success at grasping that toy no matter what grip they use. So they can start using this toy at 3 months of age and they'll still be able to hold it, and then at 4, 5 and 6 months of age. Fabric toys like this are also great because there's lots of different ways for your baby to hold this toy. They might be able to hold this side of the toy, or they can hold the other side. It doesn't matter. So as long as it's kind of large enough that they can use multiple different grasps to hold it, it will work fine for a baby under 6 months of age. Toys which are also circular in nature are really good for the babies under 6 months of age because, again, no matter what type of grasp your baby uses, they're going to be able to hold it, and it also encourages your baby to work on that transfer skill. And also toys that have a thin handle are really great because they can fit in your baby's hand and they can hold and interact with that toy. And of course, if you can find toys that have rattles inside them or make lots of noise or light up, then your baby is going to really enjoy them. Or if they're toys that are extremely bright in color. Now, obviously when you're buying toys for your little one, you need to make sure it's made from non-toxic material because your baby is going to be placing it all in their mouth because that is how they explore up until really 12 months of age. Toys which aren't so great at this age are string toys because it's really hard for your baby to grasp that. It isn't until 6 months that they start to use that raking motion, but before then they're not going to be able to grasp this toy. You will also see that these kind of toys are very heavy. So they're not appropriate because it's going to hurt your baby when it accidentally falls on their face and their body. Also, small toys like blocks are not appropriate at this age because your baby is going to be mouthing absolutely everything. But more importantly, they actually aren't going to be able to grab that because they don't have that finer grip that's required to grab those smaller toys. So those are the positions and the features of toys which will help your baby's fine motor skills develop. Have lots of fun playing, and hopefully I'll see you next week where I share more parenting tips and tricks.